Welcome to the Stronger with Age podcast, because aging is just the beginning.
Absolutely.
And today we are diving deep into superfoods.
Yes.
All those things that we can eat that are going to keep our energy levels high and our bodies feeling great as we age.
Yes, exactly.
So we have a bunch of really interesting sources on this. We've got stuff from the National Council on Aging, we've got AARP, and we've got some insights from Johns Hopkins as well. So lots to go through. What do you say we jump right in?
Yeah, let's get into it. People are really interested in this topic. There's a
Rare.
lot of information out there, a lot of buzz.
Yeah.
So let's get to, kind of the nuts and bolts. What's the real deal?
Yeah.
What actually works? What can people really use?
Absolutely. So we're going to do our best to synthesize all of this information,
Yes,
pull out the good stuff, leave behind the fluff.
exactly.
So when we talk about superfoods, I mean, what is a superfood? I feel like I hear that word thrown around a lot.
Yeah, it definitely is a bit of a buzzword.
Yeah.
But, when you break it down, it really refers to whole, minimally processed foods
Okay.
that are incredibly nutrient dense.
Okay.
Meaning that they're packed with vitamins and minerals and antioxidants, all those things that help keep our bodies healthy and prevent illness.
Gotcha. So not a bag of potato chips.
Probably not the best example of a superfood, no.
Okay, so we're talking about healthy foods.
Well,
And are we talking about primarily plant-based or...
primarily, yes. Most superfoods are plant-based, but there are some animal products
Okay.
that can also be considered superfoods, like fatty fish, for example.
Okay.
Really good source of omega-3 fatty acids.
All right.
And also some dairy products, like plain Greek yogurt, can be considered superfoods as well.
Okay, great. So I think that's a good starting point, just understanding what we're talking about
Yeah.
and the fact that there is variety, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not about finding that one magic food.
Right.
It's really about incorporating a variety of these nutrient-rich foods into our diet.
Totally. Okay, so should we start talking about specific foods then?
Yeah, let's do it. I think a great place to start is with berries.
Berries.
Yes, berries are often touted as a nutritional powerhouse, and for good reason. They're packed with fiber, they're high in vitamin C, and they're loaded with these potent antioxidants called flavonoids.
So I remember reading in one of the AARP articles that fiber is incredibly important,
It really is.
especially as we get older. I think it said something like men over 51 should be aiming for around 30 grams per day.
Yeah, that's about right. And women over 50, around 21 grams per day.
That's a lot of fiber.
It might seem like a lot, but it plays such a crucial role in our overall health.
Right.
Beyond just keeping things moving, it helps with weight management.
Okay.
It helps protect against things like diabetes, heart disease, and even some types of cancer.
Wow. Okay. And what about those flavonoids you mentioned?
Ah, yes. Flavonoids are those amazing plant compounds that give berries their vibrant colors,
Okay.
and they have powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant effects.
Right.
So they're helping to protect our cells from damage.
I see. So they're good for us in multiple ways. And when we're talking about berries, are we talking about any specific types?
Most berries are a good choice, but some stand out. AARP had some interesting research on cranberries and their link to cardiovascular health, as well as goji berries and their potential benefits for macular degeneration.
Those tiny little berries.
The very same. And fun fact, Dr. Alicia Arbise from Johns Hopkins, also mentioned in AARP, pointed out that wild blueberries actually have 3 to 4 times the antioxidant power of regular blueberries.
Really? So those frozen wild blueberries I get at the store are actually a good choice.
Exactly. A great way to get those antioxidants.
Excellent. Anything else about berries before we move on?
Oh, one more thing. The AARP source highlighted that berries are a key part of the MIND diet, which is a dietary pattern specifically designed to support brain health.
Okay.
And they found that it may help reduce the risk of Alzheimer's disease and cognitive decline.
The MIND diet. That's one we should definitely look into.
Definitely worth exploring.
Okay, so lots of good things about berries. What other foods should we be thinking about?
Let's talk about dark leafy greens.
Dark leafy greens.
Things like kale, spinach, collard greens, broccoli, arugula.
Okay.
These are all fantastic sources of nutrients, especially carotenoids, vitamins A and C, and vitamin K.
Okay.
Now, carotenoids are really important for eye health.
Okay.
Vitamins A and C are great for heart health and for maintaining healthy blood pressure.
Okay.
And vitamin K is essential for bone health.
Okay.
So they're really covering a lot of bases there.
They are.
And the AARP article also highlighted a study from Australia that found that eating just 1 cup of leafy greens every day,
Just 1 cup?
just 1 cup, was linked to 11% stronger lower limbs.
11%.
Pretty
Yeah.
impressive,
It
right?
is.
Just from eating your greens. And they mentioned another study from Denmark that linked leafy green consumption to a 12 to 26% lower risk of heart disease.
Wow. So good for your muscles, good for your heart. Anything else these leafy greens can do?
Well, there was even a study in neurology that suggested that eating leafy greens regularly may lower the risk of dementia.
Okay.
So they're really good for the brain as well.
It's amazing how much power is packed into those greens.
Right.
Any cautions about them?
Just one thing to keep in mind. The NCOA
Mm-hmm.
mentioned that leafy greens are rich in vitamin K.
Okay.
And vitamin K can interfere with the blood thinner warfarin, also known as Coumadin.
Okay.
So if you're taking that medication, it's really important to talk to your doctor before you make any significant changes to your leafy green intake.
Yeah, definitely good to check. Okay, well, we've covered the plant-based side of things. What about some of those superfoods that come from the animal kingdom?
Well, fatty fish is a great one to talk about,
Okay.
like salmon, for example.
Salmon! Delicious.
It is delicious, and it's incredibly good for you. First of all, it's a fantastic source of protein, which is essential for maintaining muscle mass as we age. And Marie Bernard from the NIH, she actually recommends around 5 to 6 ounces of protein per day for older adults.
Mhm.
This is in the AARP article as well.
5 to 6 ounces. That's a decent amount of protein.
It is, but it can be spread throughout the day.
Right.
It doesn't all have to be at one meal.
Okay, good to know. And aside from protein, what else is good about salmon?
Well, it's also an excellent source of omega-3 fatty acids,
Right.
which, as we mentioned before, are great for heart health.
Huh?
And they also can help reduce inflammation in the body.
Okay.
Plus, salmon is a good source of vitamin B12, which can be harder to absorb as we age.
Yeah, I've heard that about B12.
And it's important for so many things, like energy production, nerve function, and cell health.
Okay.
And AARP also mentioned that 2 to 3 servings of fatty fish per week can actually reduce the risk of dying from chronic diseases by about 17%.
17%? That's pretty significant.
It really is. And salmon isn't the only fatty fish out there. You've also got herring, mackerel, trout, tuna steak, cod.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of delicious options.
That's good to know. Okay, so we've talked about berries, leafy greens, fatty fish. What else should we be adding to our shopping lists?
But let's not forget about nuts and seeds.
Nuts and seeds.
These little guys are packed with nutrients.
Mhm.
They're full of antioxidants. They've got fiber. They've got plant-based protein.
They're good. I always feel like I should be eating more of them, but I also know that they're very calorie dense.
That's true. They are high in calories,
Right.
but they contain healthy fats.
Okay.
Monounsaturated fats,
Yeah.
which can actually lower your risk of heart disease.
Okay.
So it's all about moderation.
So like a small handful a day?
Yeah, a small handful is a good guideline.
Okay.
Both the NCOA and AARP recommend that.
Okay.
And, there are different types of nuts and seeds out there.
Right.
But some good options are, walnuts, flax seeds, chia seeds.
Yeah.
These are all great sources of those healthy fats, including those ALA omega-3s that we talked about earlier.
Right, the ones that are good for the brain.
Exactly. And chia seeds in particular have been linked to some pretty impressive health benefits.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a 2016 study mentioned by the NCOA found that they might help protect against cancer and protect the heart and liver.
Wow. I mean, I always think of chia seeds as being good for you, but I don't really think about all the specifics.
Right. They're tiny but mighty.
They are.
And the AARP article had this really interesting study from the University of Michigan
Oh, yeah.
that compared the impact of eating hot dogs versus nuts on healthy life minutes.
What?
Yeah, it's kind of a strange comparison, but it's interesting.
Okay.
So they found that eating a hot dog might cost you about 36 minutes of healthy life.
Seriously?
Yeah, while a serving of nuts could actually give you an extra 26 minutes.
Wow. Okay. So nuts over hot dogs.
Definitely.
Okay, what else? What else should we talk about?
Let's move on to eggs.
Eggs. Okay.
These have been kind of a controversial food over the years.
They have. I remember when they were bad, then they were good, then they were bad, now they're...
They're back to being good,
Okay.
for the most part.
What's the verdict?
So the NCOA highlighted that eggs are actually a great source of nutrients that are often missing in the diets of older adults,
Okay.
particularly vitamin B12, vitamin D, and selenium.
Okay.
And these are all found in the yolk.
Okay, so we're not just eating egg whites anymore.
Right. Unless your doctor has specifically told you to avoid yolks, they're actually really good for you.
Okay.
They also contain choline, which is important for brain health.
Okay.
And generally speaking, up to 3 eggs a day is perfectly fine.
3 eggs a day.
Unless your doctor advises otherwise,
Huh, I don't know if I could eat 3 eggs a day.
Well, you don't have to.
Okay.
But it's good to know that they're a healthy option.
They are.
And they're a great source of protein,
Yeah.
which, again, is important for maintaining muscle mass.
Totally. Okay.
So don't be afraid of eggs.
No more fear of eggs. Okay.
Now let's talk about another dairy product. We mentioned it earlier, plain Greek yogurt.
Yes.
This is a fantastic superfood, especially for older adults. It's very high in protein.
Okay.
1 cup has about 17 grams of protein.
Wow. Okay.
And it's also a really good source of calcium.
Great.
It provides about 20% of your daily recommended intake,
Wow.
according to the NCOA.
Okay.
And calcium, of course, is crucial for strong bones.
Right? Yeah.
And Greek yogurt also contains probiotics,
Okay. Probiotic.
those beneficial bacteria that help keep our gut healthy.
Yes.
And gut health is so important for everything, from digestion to immunity to even mental health.
It really is.
So Greek yogurt is a great way to support your gut microbiome.
Okay. So protein, calcium, gut health, anything else?
And it's super versatile.
Okay.
You can have it for breakfast. You can have it for a snack.
Yeah.
You can even use it in cooking
Okay.
as a substitute for sour cream, for example.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Just make sure you choose the plain variety
Right. Yeah.
without added sugar.
Okay.
The flavored yogurts can be loaded with sugar.
Totally. Okay. So plain Greek yogurt. Check. What else should we be eating?
Oh, avocados.
Avocados, yes. I love avocados.
They're so good.
They are.
And they're so good for you.
Yeah.
They're full of healthy fats, antioxidants, and a whole host of other nutrients,
Okay.
according to the NCOA.
Okay.
And they're delicious in so many things.
They are.
Guacamole, of course.
Avocado toast.
Yes, avocado toast. You can put them in salads. You can even blend them into smoothies if you don't like the taste on its own.
Okay.
And they're very satiating, which means they keep you feeling full for longer.
Okay.
And the AARP source highlighted a 30-year Harvard study
Wow.
that found that eating at least 2 servings of avocado per week was linked to a lower risk of cardiovascular disease.
So good for the heart, good for the taste buds.
Exactly.
Okay, so avocados are in. What else?
Well, we've talked a lot about fruits, and we've talked about some dairy.
Yeah.
Let's talk about vegetables, specifically cruciferous vegetables.
Cruciferous vegetables. Okay.
So these are things like broccoli, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, turnips.
Okay.
They're all really good sources of fiber, vitamins, and these cancer-fighting compounds called phytochemicals.
Okay. Phytochemicals. They
Yeah.
sound powerful.
They are. They help protect our cells from damage.
Okay.
And these vegetables are very versatile. You can add them to soups, stews, stir-fries.
Yeah.
You can roast them. You can steam them.
Yeah.
Lots of different ways to enjoy them.
Lots of different ways.
Now, we've talked about a lot of different types of foods.
We have.
But what about grains?
Grains, yeah. Are certain grains better than others?
Absolutely. Whole grains are definitely the way to go if you're looking for sustained energy.
Okay.
So things like oats, quinoa, brown rice.
Okay.
These are excellent sources of complex carbohydrates and fiber,
Okay.
which work together to give you that slow, steady release of energy.
Okay, as opposed to that spike you get from like white bread or something.
Exactly. They also help regulate your blood sugar levels,
Okay.
which is really important for preventing those energy crashes that you can get from simple carbohydrates.
Yeah, totally.
And the top 10 superfoods for Senior Source mentioned that whole grains are also a good source of B vitamins, magnesium, and iron,
Okay.
and they're linked to a lower risk of type 2 diabetes.
Wow. Okay. So definitely prioritize whole grains.
Absolutely.
Okay. So we've got our berries, our leafy greens, our fatty fish, our nuts and seeds, our eggs, our Greek yogurt, our avocados, our cruciferous vegetables, our whole grains. What else?
Well, let's talk about some other foods that can help boost energy levels.
Okay.
Sweet potatoes, for example.
Okay.
They're a great source of fiber, vitamin A, and potassium,
Okay.
according to the Next Level Senior Advisor source.
Okay.
And they help regulate blood sugar, they help maintain healthy blood pressure, and they're just a really good source of sustained energy.
I love sweet potatoes.
Delicious.
Yeah.
And then there are beets.
Beets. Okay.
Now, beets are packed with antioxidants
Okay.
that help fight inflammation in the body.
Okay.
And they're also really good for maintaining healthy blood pressure.
Okay.
And they can improve cardiovascular health overall.
Interesting.
The top 10 superfoods for Senior Source highlighted those benefits.
Okay.
Now let's talk about another dairy product,
Okay.
cottage cheese.
Cottage cheese. Okay.
So cottage cheese is a great source of whey protein, which is important for muscle protein synthesis.
Okay.
This was mentioned by Christine Rosenblum in the AARP article,
Okay.
and Nancy Farrell Allen, also from the AARP article, pointed out that cottage cheese is high in calcium and vitamin D, both of which are essential for bone health.
Okay.
She also mentioned that phosphorus and magnesium are important for bone health as well.
Okay.
And those are found in things like nuts, legumes, cereals, grains for phosphorus,
Okay.
and for magnesium, nuts, seeds, legumes, and dark leafy greens. So a lot of the foods that we've already talked about.
We've already talked about, yeah.
And then AARP had this interesting little tidbit about prunes.
Prunes.
Yes, prunes.
Okay.
They mentioned a Penn State study that found that prunes might help prevent bone loss in postmenopausal women.
Oh, interesting.
So add those to your list as well.
Okay.
And then finally, let's talk about beans and legumes.
Beans and legumes. Okay.
These are a fantastic source of both fiber and protein.
Okay.
And they're low in calories. They help lower cholesterol.
Okay.
They're really a nutritional powerhouse.
I like them.
They are good.
Yeah.
And Joseph Gonzalez from AARP had a few good tips about them.
Okay.
First of all, he said that if you're using canned beans,
Okay.
drain and rinse them thoroughly
Okay.
to reduce the sodium content
Oh, okay.
by about 41%.
Wow. Okay. That makes a big difference.
And he also recommended hummus as a healthy snack
Hummus. Yes.
made from chickpeas.
I love hummus.
It's delicious, right?
Yeah. Okay, so we've covered a ton of different foods. I feel like my grocery list is a mile long now. Yes. But staying energized isn't just about the foods that we eat, right?
Absolutely. It's a holistic approach. There are other important factors that come into play.
Okay, so what else should we be thinking about?
Well, first of all, hydration.
Hydration. Okay.
It's so important to stay well hydrated, especially as we age.
Okay.
Our sense of thirst can decline, so we might not always realize when we need to drink more fluids.
Okay.
And dehydration can lead to fatigue.
Right.
It can cause dizziness. It can even affect our cognitive function.
Oh, okay.
So it's really important to make a conscious effort to drink enough water throughout the day.
So, like, how much are we talking?
It varies depending on the individual.
Right.
But a good general rule of thumb is to aim for 8 glasses of water a day.
Okay.
And you can also get fluids from other sources, like herbal teas or fruits and vegetables that are high in water content. And Marie Bernard from the NIH, she actually mentioned that staying hydrated can help counteract some of the effects of declining bowel function.
Really? Okay.
And sometimes we might think we're hungry when we're actually thirsty.
That's good to know. So a glass of water first.
Exactly.
Okay, so hydration is key. What else?
Well, vitamin D is another really important factor in maintaining energy levels
Okay.
and also for mood regulation.
Okay.
And as we age, our skin becomes less efficient at converting sunlight into vitamin D.
Okay.
So it's often a good idea to take a supplement,
Okay.
and it's a good idea to talk to your doctor about getting your vitamin D levels checked.
Okay.
Dr. Alicia Arbate from Johns Hopkins recommends that.
Okay.
And then there's vitamin B12,
Okay.
which is also crucial for energy levels.
Okay.
But it can be harder to absorb from food as we age,
Okay.
especially from animal products.
Okay.
So, if you're not eating a lot of meat or dairy, you might want to consider a supplement. And Allison Quinn, writing for AARP, mentioned that the NIH actually recommends a B12 supplement for adults over 50.
Okay, so B12, something to think about.
Mm-hmm.
What about, I hear a lot about eating whole foods being really important.
Yes, that's absolutely crucial.
Okay.
Fresh, whole, unprocessed foods are packed with nutrients
Okay.
that give us energy.
Okay.
And they also help us feel better overall.
Okay.
Packaged processed foods tend to make us feel sluggish.
Right.
And Dr. Alicia Arbaje mentioned that as well.
Okay.
And while animal products can be a good source of protein and other nutrients,
Okay.
it's important to eat them in moderation,
Okay.
especially red meat,
Okay.
because it takes longer to digest.
Okay.
And that can sometimes drain our energy.
Makes sense.
So focus on those whole, unprocessed foods, and you'll notice a difference in your energy levels.
Awesome.
And then another thing to keep in mind is movement.
Movement. Okay.
Yeah. Physical activity is actually a great way to boost energy, even if you're feeling tired.
Okay.
Just a few minutes of movement
Okay.
can really help perk you up.
Okay.
And it's also really good for overall health, of course.
Right.
And if you can, get some sunshine in the morning.
Okay.
That can help regulate your circadian rhythm
Okay.
and improve your sleep.
Okay, so morning sunshine and movement, good combination.
Exactly.
All right,
Hey.
what else?
Well, it's also important to review your medications regularly
Right.
with your doctor
Okay.
because some medications can cause fatigue as a side effect.
Okay.
And Dr. Alicia Arbeje recommends reviewing all of your medications with your doctor every 3 to 6 months.
Okay, to make sure that you still need them.
Exactly.
Okay, that's a good reminder.
And then when it comes to adding flavor to your food,
Okay.
try using herbs and spices instead of salt.
Okay.
Salt can actually deplete our energy levels,
Okay.
and herbs and spices are packed with antioxidants,
Okay.
and they can really add a lot of flavor to your meals.
Okay.
And Dr. Alicia Arbeje had a really simple tip.
Okay.
She said to add a squeeze of lemon or lime to your water.
Okay.
It's a great way to get a little bit of flavor.
Okay.
And it also adds some electrolytes,
Okay.
which can be helpful if you're feeling dehydrated.
Okay, so lemon or lime in my water. Check.
Check.
Okay.
And then finally, when it comes to nutrition, in general, try to get your nutrients from food first
Okay.
before you turn to supplements.
Okay.
Whole foods are always the best source of nutrients.
Right.
But there are some cases where supplements might be necessary.
Okay.
And Alison Gwynn from AARP, she mentioned that the Tufts Food Pyramid for older adults suggests talking to your doctor about calcium and vitamin D supplements.
Okay.
And Christine Rosenblum recommends considering a daily multivitamin that's specifically formulated for adults over 50.
Okay.
And she said to look for one that has the USP verified seal,
Okay.
which means that it's been independently tested for quality and purity.
Okay. So, real food first, supplements if needed.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, we've covered so much ground. I feel like I've learned so much about superfoods.
Yeah, there's a lot of information out there.
There it is.
But hopefully we've given you some practical takeaways.
I think so.
Some things that you can actually implement in your own life.
Totally. Yeah.
So, remember those berry and spinach smoothies?
Yeah.
Sprinkle those nuts and seeds on your salads and oatmeal.
Yep.
Have that fatty fish at least twice a week.
Okay.
Enjoy that Greek yogurt with berries and honey.
Yeah.
Use avocado on your toast or in your salads.
Okay.
Make sure your meals have a good balance of protein, healthy fats, and complex carbohydrates.
Yep.
And, just really focus on those nutrient-rich foods.
Totally.
And you'll be well on your way to maintaining your energy and vitality.
Awesome. So it's not about making huge changes. It's just about making those little tweaks.
Exactly. It's about incorporating these superfoods into your everyday life.
Great.
And it's never too late to start.
So is there one final thing that you would leave our listeners with?
I would just say, think about one or two of the superfoods that we talked about today that really resonated with you.
Okay.
And think about how you can incorporate them into your diet this week.
Okay.
And just see how you feel.
Okay.
You might be surprised at the difference it makes.
I like it. So small changes, big impact.
Exactly.
Okay, there you have it. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Stay tuned for upcoming episodes.